Tagum City! Hello students who are watching right now at La Filipina National High School official Facebook page. And also to our listeners who are tuning in from our radio station partner, the 98.3 Gold FM, ang radyo astig ng Tagum City. Kuyawa, no? Welcome once again to Salida Teleradyo, where you will learn another science concepts in fun and easy way. I am your teacher host, Ma'am Rhea Nobleza from La Filipina National High School. And today, you will learn how to describe motion through displacement to be discussed by our teacher, broadcaster, Ma'am JESSA BANICO.
Thank you, Teacher Rhea. Good day, students, especially to our viewers from our official Facebook page and listeners in 98.3 Gold FM. Welcome to Salida Teleradyo. I am your teacher broadcaster, JESSA BANICO. Come with me as we will going to learn about displacement in Science 7, Quarter 3. So what are we waiting for? Hang on tight and fasten your seatbelt for another scientific learning journey. Before we will going to start our today's lesson, let us look back to the things you learned. First, you have motion. In science, motion is defined as the change in position for a particular time interval. But how can you say that the object is in motion? How can you say that the object is moving? There are a lot of terms or quantities used in describing motion. And we can categorize those as vector quantities or scalar quantities. Vectors generally have direction and magnitude. On the other hand, scalar quantities are the one that have only a magnitude. Now, we can start describing motion by answering the question, how far? When answering this question, we have to remember that when you talk about how far, it pertains to the length of an object that travels. Meaning, the units that you are going to use are those units that describes length, such as meters, centimeters, kilometers, mile, or an inch. Now, if you talk about how far, then we're going to talk about distance. Distance talks about how far away something has traveled from another object. It pertains to the total length of the path that the object had taken, regardless of the direction. The object that travels does not depend on direction. That's why it is one of the examples of a scalar quantity. Why? Because it describes having a magnitude only. Example, let us have 2 kilometers, 45 centimeters, and 150 miles. As what you have observed in the given examples, it is only magnitude. It doesn't have any direction at all. Now let's have a sample problem about distance. Miguel walks 5 kilometers from home to school, and then 2 kilometers from school to the shop. What is Miguel's total distance? Let us have the given. First, let us identify the distances. From home to school, that is 5 kilometers. From school to the shop, that is 2 kilometers. Now, in getting the distance, you're just going to add it up. Just 5 kilometers plus 2 kilometers, and that would be equal to 7 kilometers. So Miguel's total distance is equal to 7 kilometers. Does his direction change the answer? The answer is no. Again, distance does not depend on direction. No matter where the object goes, you just have to add it all. Okay? I hope you have understood all the things that talks about distance. Later on, we will going to use that as we go along with our topic. Alright? Now, let's have this picture. At this time, we will going to analyze a certain picture. For those our viewers in our FB page, kindly observe the picture given. And for those our listeners, kindly listen attentively, for I will going to describe what is in the picture. Are you now ready? Okay. In the picture, the boy seems to be confused on which way to go to school quickly. If he will take the right side, he will pass through houses and shops. It will take him 50 meters for him to travel. And if he chooses the other side, he will pass through trees and bushes. Yet, it will take him 20 meters to travel. Let's have now the guide questions. Number 1. If you were on the shoes of that boy, which way would you prefer? Number 2. Do you know the easiest way in your school? Number 3. Have you encountered the same problem as him but in different situation? Mga kastig, have you ever experienced that you want to go to the mall quickly because you have something urgent to buy, but knowing that there are a lot of ways in going to the mall, and you, because you are in a hurry, you prefer the easiest way or the shortcut? Or it's not necessarily sa mall, mga kaastig ha. Let us say for example, kanang gisugo mo sa inyong parents or mga elders sa balay og palit sa tindahan, or kanang muadto ka og tindahan. Di ba kung nagdali ka, asa ka moagi? Diba sa dool nga agianan? Tama ba ko? Or have you experienced that one? Now, why am I asking about you the easiest way or the shortcut in a certain place? Because it has something to do with our topic for this day. Okay? For this day, we were going to talk about displacement. Let's have first the objectives. Here are the objectives. Number 1. Describe the motion of an object in terms of displacement. Number 2. Differentiate distance and displacement. Number 3. Calculate sample problem about displacement. Before we discuss about displacement, let us test first your knowledge about this topic. I want you to get your paper and ball pen and answer the following. You're going to have true or false. Now, here is the direction. Kindly write true if the statement is correct and false if the statement is not. Are you now all ready? Okay, let's start with the number 1. Number 1. Displacement includes both the distance an object moves and the direction. Is it true or false? The correct answer is true. Now, let's have number 2. A car drives 84 meters forward and 20 meters backward. Its displacement and distance would be the same. Is it true or false? Correct answer is false. Now, let's have number 3. A car traveled 50 miles north and then 50 miles south will have a displacement of 0 mile. Is it true or false? The correct answer is true. Now, let's have number 4. Displacement is a vector quantity because it shows magnitude and direction. Is it true or false? The correct answer is true. Now, let's have the last question. Displacement is always equal to the distance the object moved between its initial and final position. Is it true or false? The correct answer is true. How is it, students? Did you have a high score? Don't worry if you don't have. I know you did your best. Good job! Now, let us discuss more about displacement. Displacement is the shortest distance between the object's two positions, from your initial position and your final position, like the distance between its point of origin and its point of destination, no matter what path it took to get to that destination. Displacement is a sample of a vector quantity, meaning it has distance plus direction. Examples of directions are, we have the basic one, we have the north, the south, the east, and the west. We can also use angles as directions. Or we can have the following terms. We have the backward and the forward. And also, we can use the positive and the negative sign as directions. Displacement can either be positive or negative. The sign implies the direction of the displacement. Negative means that the object is moving to the left, which is in the west, or down, which is in the south. If the displacement is positive, the object is moving to the right, which is in the east, or up, which is in the north. Now, how to get displacement? Displacement is different to distance. Since displacement have direction, we need to be cautious on what does the direction does the object travels. Now, thus we have here the formula. Displacement is equal to final position minus initial position. Now, let's have a sample problem about displacement. Are you now all ready? Okay, let us answer this one. Elsa walks her dog 20 meters west from her house to the park. What is Elsa's displacement? Let's have first the given. Elsa's initial position is equal to 0 meter, while Elsa's final position is equal to 20 meters west. Again, what is the formula in getting displacement? You just have to subtract final position minus initial position. Thus, we can have the solution. Displacement is equal to 20 meters west minus 0 meter, and that will be equal to 20 meters west. Thus, Elsa's displacement is equal to 20 meters west. Okay? Now, let's have another problem. Rhea rode a car and traveled 10 meters east to Connelly's house. She then went back home and traveled 10 meters west. What is Rhea's displacement? Let us have first the given. For Rhea's initial position, that will be 10 meters east. And for her final position, that will be 10 meters west. Now, let's have the solution. Final position minus initial position, thus we can have 10 meters west minus 10 meters east, and that will be equal to 0 meter. Thus, Rhea's displacement is equal to 0. Okay, students, do you got it right? Now, let's have the last problem. Miguel walks 5 kilometers east from home to school, and then 2 kilometers west from school to the shop. What is Miguel's displacement? Let's have first the given. The initial position from home to school, and that would be equal to 5 kilometers east. And for the final position from school to shop, that would be equal to 2 kilometers west. Now, let's have now the solution. Again, the formula will be final position minus initial position. Mathematically, when you subtract 2 minus 5, the difference will be negative 3. As what I've said earlier, displacement depends on directions. And when you talk about directions, it has many forms or types. And it includes the positive and the negative sign. Again, take note, students, that when displacement bears the negative sign, meaning that the object is moving to the left, which is in the west, or down, which is in the south. But if the displacement bears the positive sign, then the object is moving to the right, which is in the east, or up, which is in the north. Now, in our problem, there are two directions only. We have the west and the east. And the answer of the displacement is bearing negative sign. So what do you think is the direction of that displacement? Okay, very good. It is west. Thus, the final answer is 3 kilometer west. Okay? Got it? I hope you got all the things that I have discussed. Now, let me challenge your understanding by answering this sample problem. Are you now all ready, mga kastig? Okay, let's start. To our viewers, kindly analyze the picture presented. And to our listeners, kindly listen carefully as I will going to describe what is in the picture. Ready? Okay. The dog runs 10 meters east and moves 5 meters south. The dog runs again 10 meters west. Again, I will repeat. The dog runs 10 meters east and moves 5 meters south. The dog runs again 10 meters west. Now, let's have the questions. What is the dog's distance? Displacement. Now, let's take a look at again the picture. In getting the distance, unsaon ganito? Okay, very good. We're just going to add it up. We have here 3 distances. We have 10 meters, 5 meters, and then another 10 meters. In getting the distance, just going to add it up. Okay, we have 10 meters plus 5 meters plus another 10 meters, and that will be equal to 25 meters. In getting displacement, the correct answer is 5 meters south. Congratulations! I know you got it right. Hooray for a job well done! At this time, let us test how much you have learned for today's lesson. Kindly get your paper and ballpen for we're going to have distance or displacement. Here is the direction. Identify the following statements as distance or displacement. Write distance if the statement describes distance and displacement if it is displacement. So, are you now all ready? Let's go! Number 1. The total distance and direction an object moves from its starting point is distance or displacement. The correct answer is displacement. Next, let's have number 2. The object travels 200 kilometers is an example of distance or displacement. The correct answer is distance. Now, let's have number 3. A car traveled 50 miles north and then 50 miles south. The answer of this problem is an example of distance or displacement. The correct answer is displacement. Good job, everyone! Thumbs up for a job well done. I hope that you have learned something new about motion. But before we're going to end up our today's lesson, I would like to give you some things to do. Make a road map from your home to school and try to get your distance and displacement. And that's it, everyone! We are done with another scientific learning journey. Thank you for viewing and for listening at 98.3 Gold FM. Again, this is JESSA A. BANICO saying, do all for the glory of God, to God be the glory.
That was great, Ma'am JESSA. Thank you, viewers and listeners, for tuning in. I hope that you have learned something new today. Stay tuned for our next subject only here at Salida Teleradio. Once again, I am your teacher host, Ma'am Rayalyn Nobleza, reminding you all, learning must travel the distance from head to heart. Bye-bye!